Okay, hello everyone and welcome to tonight's randomized gaming stream. I'm your host for this randomized gaming stream, as always, Random Gamer Riven. And in tonight's stream we will be looking at, start it up, Sonic 3D Blast or Sonic 3D Flickies Island, which I think is the intended name. Although the PC version does actually use the combined name of Sonic 3D Blast Flickies Island. But yes, Sonic 3D Flickies Island is what it was called in Europe. Sonic 3D Blast is what it was called in North America. And it is, of course, the first sort of, well, I wouldn't really call it 3D. It's an isometric Sonic game that used pre-rendered visuals. It was basically the swan song of Sonic on the Mega Drive, and it was quite a late Mega Drive game, as it was 1996. In fact, it was a very late Mega Drive game. It's one of those Mega Drive games you didn't think would actually come out as late as it did, but it did. I think it was purely done because at the time the Western market still felt there was still a good... I mean, this came out in the Saturn's life as well, which is what's surprising. So it's... And supposedly it sold quite well, because it's actually quite cheap considering it's a late life. So I'm just going to quickly show you. You've got the sound test. Got the controls, jump. That's all we need. So without further ado, I'll jump in, but just give you a quick background. Just before I jump in, I'll give you a quick overview. So this is Sonic 3D Flickies Island. I'm playing on the European PAL Mega Drive version, but I believe the ROM set is actually a universal one, so it's actually the same image if you're playing on Europe and the US. In fact, this is the PAL one, but it doesn't show the Flicky Island's title screen. It shows the US one because it's running at 60 Hz. So it's basically a uni-ROM BIOS, so which is great because it means that will adapt depending what it detects the region settings are, which is quite nice. Shame more games didn't use that. It was, as I said, it was released. I mean, it actually says 32 megs on the cart. I'm not sure it is. I think one of the sites said it was about 4 megabytes or megabits. Or whatever, though they tended to exaggerate how big they actually were. But it was developed by Traveller's Tales and Sonic Team. It was a co-development. Sonic Team, I believe, did the designing and the concepts, and Traveller's Tales programmed it, and it was the Traveller's Tales main programmer. I think this was one of the last games he actually worked on, John Burton, before he went into management at Traveller's Tales. I have worked with Traveller's Tales, as I've mentioned before, but that's all I'm going to say on the subject. But he has subsequently redone a director's cut version that was basically a fan patch released on Steam for the recent re-release of it as part of the sort of Mega Drive collection. And if you've got the Steam version, you can patch it and you'll get a director's cut version, and that adds in a number of additional features and changes. I haven't actually played the director's cut version, but I will get round to playing it in the near future. I did download it this morning, but haven't actually patched it yet and tested it out. It's a shame it's not officially included. I'd quite like an official ROM set of it, but of course you can't get an official ROM set of it, as it was done sometime after it was originally released. One other thing to note is the music may sound a bit familiar, because this is actually the same music that they used for Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast. Because basically, because they wrote this music for the Mega Drive, and because this version of Sonic the Hedgehog wasn't released in Japan on the Mega Drive, it's subsequently been re-released on Virtual Console and I believe in some of the collections, but originally this was never released in Japan. The first release of it in Japan came in, I think it was 99 or 98 when the Sega Saturn version got released, but Japan never originally got the Mega Drive version. They only got the Saturn's version, and the Saturn's version I think was the last official Sega released Sega Saturn game. Bizarrely, they didn't release it till very late in the day. They say, oh, maybe we should release this on Saturn after it had been out for years in Europe and the US. So a bit of a strange one, that. Without further ado, let's jump in, because I've been speaking too much. So yes, it's up to Sonic to save the day, and this, as you can see, there's Flickies. Of course, Flickies were always in Sonic the Hedgehog from the very first one, but the gameplay itself actually draws from, so technically Flickies, which is Flicky, which is like a '88 arcade game, I think, by Sega. It might be slightly earlier actually. Basically, they incorporate that into the Sonic ethos, and this game actually plays a lot like Flickies in the fact you have to rescue all your little buddies. So, and indeed the blue bird in Flicky looks like the blue bird in this looks like the blue bird in Flicky, or Sonic the Hedgehog. I think they basically used the same design. I assume it's probably some of the same team did Flicky and did this as well. So this is slightly a bit of an odd Sonic game. It's not a fast-paced action game like other titles in the Sonic series, if I'm being honest. It's quite a slow isometric game. In fact, I think pretty much every isometric game going is a bit slow because it's a weird angle you actually have to play at. But basically, this is more a navigation puzzle mode, so I mustn't actually leave the Flickies behind. They did the director's cut version does apparently add in a notification if you've left one of the Flickies behind. Actually, there's some really nice upgrades to the director's cut version. It adds in a password system to save your progress. It adds in some additional features. There are actually three, as I mentioned, there are 3 versions of Sonic 3D Flickies Island. There's the original Mega Drive version. There's the PC there's the Sega Saturn version, which they changed the visuals for, gave it a new soundtrack because Richard Jacobs did the soundtrack. Because I think that was mainly done by Traveller's Tales. I don't think Sonic Team were too involved in the Saturn's version. And the Saturn's version is really, really good. And then finally, they also redid the special stages, so they were like a 3D thing, because originally the special stages you see here are a little bit a weird angled 2D thing that I never particularly liked. So like the arcade game Flicky, my aim is to get all the little chaps to the door and move on to the next area. Pretty much the same mechanics, but before I do that, I'm going to look for the last of the little chaps. There literally is only 5 enemies on a stage, apart from sort of hazards and things like artillery turrets, or like that thing there that will shoot you constantly and you can't damage. Just literally, it's invulnerable to your damage. Now I'm going to go to Knuckles so you can see him. So incidentally, there are a few points where Knuckles will spawn or like via a special cannon. So in this case, I need to come up here. You actually don't smash that bit of the wall there. Got the gold one. I think some of them are magnetic or had functions added in. Ooh, can I get 100 rings? That'll give me an extra life. So basically the Saturn's version, as I was just saying a bit earlier, added in some really nice special stages. And then the PC version, which I believe was based on the Saturn's version, however, as one difference, they changed the special stages again. So they were sort of a slightly, basically a weird half-pipe game. I think the purely reason they changed it in the PC version was so it was compatible with more PCs from the era, because I think the Saturn's special stages were quite complex and too taxing for some PCs. I don't know why they didn't just include the Mega Drive versions if they basically include both sets. But this is a bit like the ones from Sonic 2, where I basically have to collect all the rings and dodge the spikes. You'll notice you have the weird side angle as well, so I can... You get these weird bits here where you just stop and run. They're a little bit odd, these stages, I will admit. So not rings to go, and is that Chaos Emerald? No, I've got to collect 150 rings, and I've already cleared that target. I will say the effects with the sort of way it's scrolling and zooming and the scaling is very nice. It is very, very impressive with how it looks. And yes, you notice all the rings do respawn when you... So I can literally go and recollect all the rings for possibly another extra life. Although I shouldn't actually collect too many of them. I should just check that. Now, one of the things you can do is you can actually get 2 Chaos Emeralds per stage. Which they did actually... So the Director's Cut version does change a number of things. One of them is actually the fact that you could get 2 Chaos Emeralds a stage. They changed it to 1 later on in the Director's Cut. The Director's Cut sounds quite interesting. I was reading up on it on the Sonic Retro, and they explain all the various additional changes and features. So in they all go, and then I can walk to the next part of the stage. Here we are, part 2. So basically all the stages are like this. They're all like sort of quite big open world, like I said, maze stages. So they're quite nice to explore, but they're definitely not what some people might expect in a Sonic game. Notice this is actually the start of the first act, and then Tails is down there now, so I can get a second one if I come here. Just gonna pause that a sec. The open source scan converter actually has to adjust resolution when it does that, so. There we go with 2 Chaos Emeralds. And there, that's 2 stages. Oh, yes. Tails just stolen all my rings as well. I think he gives you... Did he give me an extra life? No. you see the rings, so the fact the rings respawn every time you visit the special stage is a little bit of an odd one, as do those things. Apparently in the director's cut they were changed so they were collectibles, the Sonic heads, and you had to get them all in order to get everything. So the number of changes in the director's cut, the fact you can replay stages, the fact they even added in Super Sonic. Super Sonic is not in this version. Apparently John Burton did add him into the director's cut patch, so I will be trying that literally straight after I finish this. So as I mentioned I downloaded it a bit earlier. Stage is probably actually quite a good one for getting your lives up. The early stages are good because some of the later stages can be a little bit difficult to know where you're going, where you're headed. So you can't actually get to the exit until you get all 5 of them. I think you can technically cash out early and get them early, but you do miss out on the bonuses if you don't get all 5 at once. So it's worth getting all 5 of the little chaps at once if you can. You also need them to catch some of the Sonics, and there were a few that I recall where you literally needed all 5 Flickies to reach the higher jumps. I'm going to run down here. There is actually a quick way back up it, so... Bit of a quiet night on stream, but that's alright. Gives me a chance to enjoy this game. I must admit, I've finished the Saturn's version multiple times, but because... I can't remember the Saturn's version had a save. This one, the Mega Drive version, didn't enthrall me as much. I definitely think the Saturn's version, partly in thanks to the superb music Richard Jacob did, is a better version by far. Okay, one more ring and I've got another level. Life. Okay, that's all I'm getting from this one, so let's end it. And there we go, I think that's everyone. Sonic got through Act 1. Time taken too long. This is very similar actually to Sonic Labyrinth on the Game Gear. In fact, I can't remember if Sonic Labyrinth was done before this or after this. Now I believe there's Tails and Knuckles in every section. I think Tails and Knuckles locations may slightly change depending on whether you're playing the Saturn's or Mega Drive version. Wait, is there no Tails and Knuckles this side? I think a few of them they literally do. So pre-rendered visuals, I think, are an interesting one. They weren't the best. We had a bit of a fad where everyone was using them. These days, the weird thing is pre-rendered visuals these days would be phenomenal because you can get them incredibly good looking. But I don't think any game uses pre-rendered visuals these days. But somebody said you could get if you redid Sonic the Hedgehog with pre-rendered visuals now, it would look absolutely stunning. Or something like Resident Evil, the pre-rendered stuff would look almost lifelike. Because computing... Got extra life. Let's go back to Knuckles. But yeah, this doesn't have the speed of previous Sonic games, that's for sure. Collect 100 rings, and I already have 100 rings. I must say, I do prefer the Saturn bonus stages. These are quite technically impressive, but I don't think these are good playing as the stages from Sonic 2. That's 3 Chaos Emeralds. Can I get all? You can actually literally get them all by the end of the second world, which John Burton apparently changed in the director's cut. Hi, hello. Theraku Khan for joining the stream. Hope you enjoy the game. Thanks very much for joining the stream. This is indeed a rather enjoyable Sonic game. It's not the best Sonic game. I would say it doesn't have the speed of the other games, but it's a decent one. It's very enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's the best Sonic game on the Mega Drive. In fact, I'd argue it's one of the weaker ones, but it's still a very good game overall. It's certainly a lot better and very impressive compared to a lot of other titles. So this will be the 4th Chaos Emerald if I get this stage right. It does actually slightly switch resolutions. Oh, this one's a bit tougher than the previous ones. Oh. Oh crap. Whew, that was a bit close. 100 rings. Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit harder. It feels a little bit faster. The spikes are a bit closer together. Hi Charlie Ward, thanks for joining the stream. I'm just currently locked on this stage at the minute, so I'm not going to be looking at the chat comments. Oh yes. No, we're playing the original cartridge version, as you can't get the DX version, sadly. This is the on an actual... Well, the Saturn's version is actually the best version, but yes, I've heard a lot of things about the Director's Cut. As I was mentioning earlier, I have actually picked it up, the Director's Cut version. I was going to try it after the stream, see what I think. Sadly, you can't get the Director's Cut version on the actual Mega Drive unless you have an EverDrive or something and convert the ROM and then download it that way. It's supposed to be for the PC pack. Okay, so that's so this version, I did know the Director's Cut version allows you to basically split the emeralds over each world instead of being able to get so many Chaos Emeralds, because that way you can get, in this one, it's possible to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds by the end of the 2nd world, and as you'll see, I already have 4 Chaos Emeralds, and this is only the 2nd act of the 1st world. Oh yes, some stages are 3 acts, so I can be quick on this act because you only get 1 Knuckles and 1 Tails per stage. So let's get, without further ado, I might try and get another extra life so we can get 10. Because it's easy to build up lives in the earlier stages, not so easy in the later stages. The Saturn's version is definitely better, but for the time, this was a very impressive Mega Drive game. But this is one of the Mega Drive games that, as I mentioned, we did a quick poll to see. I'm not sure how many. I'm surprised how many people. Supposedly, this sold nearly close to 1 million units originally, which is quite surprising. It's about 700,000 on the Mega Drive, which is quite surprising if it did, because I'd have thought at that point, by 96, I mean, this is apparently released in late 96, the Mega Drive was a relatively dead format, and 700,000 units, if you shifted that on a game even now, you'd be very impressed with. Unless you'd spent like 50 million or like 100 plus million on your game. So, I'll swap it for the... You can get bound. This one allows you to bound. Get that last Flicky and then just quickly look. Are there any more Sonic heads around here? But this is a very... Oh, I can nearly get another... Can I get another life? I've got just 2 more rings. Can actually walk back as well if I stand on the thing, I believe. Yep, so let's see. Ooh. Didn't notice that secret passage before. Another special cannon. Probably throw me all the way back to the start of the stage, but yeah, so get more of those. Those are continues for this. Yeah, literally. So some of those cannons literally fire you back to you. But it's so Sonic Labyrinth. As I said, this I can't remember if this is after or before Sonic Labyrinth, but it does have a very sort of labyrinthy style. This is more a maze game, and it follows more Flicky, the original arcade, with the fact that you have to go and collect the Flickies. It's not really a fast-paced Sonic game. It's a very different... In fact, I would hazard to not even call this a Sonic game in some aspects, because this is much more just explore, rescue the Flickies and finish the stage, whereas Sonic's about getting to the stage as fast as possible. But it does look and play superbly. And I said this is basically a universal cartridge, so I'm playing it on the Japanese system and it defaults to the US version. If you play it on the PAL system, it will default to the PAL version. Basically, it's got a US ROM on it and a European. There were quite a few Mega Drive games that had a universal cart, so that basically whichever region it would adapt to, which was quite nice. I wish they'd done that with all their games, actually, Sega. Oh, thanks for letting us know, Charlie. So it does have a yeah, I heard it had a time attack mode, which sounds quite nice. Reading up, it also has Supersonic, which must be quite interesting to see. I was going to try the DX version later, but it sounded really interesting. And in fact, it's done by one of the official developers as well. I think Sega are really missing out on not reprinting some of their games. I mean, if they could reprint some of their Mega Drive games now, they would make... I think there's quite a hefty margin for professionally made, and people would go crazy for official reprints of some of the games. Oh, there he goes. Sonic got through Act 3. So this actually has 3 acts, as you can see, like the original Sonic, but the 3rd act is purely a boss act, which is probably how the original Sonic should have been, as 3 acts was always felt a bit long. So here we go with the second stage. Is it Rustic Ruins? This one on the Sega Saturn version has some of the best music you will hear on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, it'd be nice if John Burton updated the Saturn's version, but I don't think he worked on the Sega Saturn's version. I think he only did the Mega Drive version. I think on the Saturn's version he was more a director's cut mode. Sadly, the Saturn's version hasn't been re-released either, which is another problem. Oh, that's right, you can smash the blocks when you turn into... They also apparently the director's cut tracks if you're missing a Flicky, like you haven't picked one up. So that one, I think I need all 5 Flickies. I think I'll literally be able to go up here. Oh no, I can't. I have to come down to that one. Each state, all the stages in this dimension are kind of like a bit like a maze, and you can always connect back to everywhere once you start exploring. It's just knowing the routes to go. Yeah. Oh, maybe I can. It's a bit dangerous, but that was rather dangerous. But I do like the music. No, it's no worries. I mean, I'm not a huge. I haven't played the Mega Drive version hugely, but I understand a few of the things. It's nice to know it's. Yeah, it's some Mega Drive cartridges are multi-regional, some are region locked. So I really wish all Mega Drive cartridges had been multi-regional. Okay, I should have 2 Flickies. I only have 1, so one of the chaps is going to be flying around somewhere, and I've got to find him. Where's he gone? Yeah, I do prefer the Saturn's version of this because the music is better, but this is still a nice version. Yeah, I'm missing one of the Flickies at the minute. I need to find one of the chaps, so I need to be in spin form to break that, so I also need 50 rings. Am I still going to be able to get 50 rings at this point, or have I... So there we go with that one. I think... Ah, yes, I can come down this way with the spin. However, I don't think I can get to Tails. I think I'm going to have to come back to Tails. I think because I've... Yeah, so you can come back if you miss... Right, can't... No! So there's got to be a spin block. Oh, you've got to come all the way down, haven't you? That's very cheeky. So obviously I've got to spin through here and come all the way down, so I can't actually get to Tails just yet, so I've got to get to Knuckles. Yeah, no, we list the PAL Saturn's version optimization on our website. The special stages are totally broken at 60 Hz, so you can't play them. I wasn't aware of the Japanese loading time. I know you guys mentioned it last week, so I will actually look at that at some point, because we do have the Japanese version. Initially, because of course the special stages were totally broken at 60 Hz, although it's one of those ones where the Japanese version literally has no Japanese text. Ah, now I can get down. Okay, now I can get to Tails. But before I get to Tails, I need to get some rings. I need to go this way. So they are very mazy, so... Thank you very much, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. I will actually look at the DX version at some point. Very much appreciated. I will Yeah, I should actually take a look at the Saturns. So I know the PAL version, the bonus stages were totally broken at 60 Hz, but I said I wasn't aware the loading was quicker in the Japanese version. Although we do have both, it's something you won't notice it unless you do a direct time attack against. So I will check that. But thank you very much for your donation, Charlie. I will put it towards the channel as always. Right, so I think one... Oh, I need to be in spin form to not have to come down. This stage is a bit more complex with the navigation. Yeah, we have some net effects there. So the shadows, again, like... There aren't actually any true transparency. I think they're all net or flashing effects. So the shields are a flashing effect. So they may appear transparent, the shields, but if I do that, you'll see it isn't transparent. It actually turns off and on. Oh yes, the Sega Saturn cover art is fantastic in the Japanese version. In fact, the Japanese packaging on the Japanese version, because it's like the last official Sega Saturn game done by Sega, they did a few nice touches to it. And it's one of those ones where I thought, well, I wish all the Sega Saturn games that they'd done earlier had used this packaging setup. Okay, I now have enough to get to Tails, so... Actually quite a quiet night on the stream, so it's only me and the other guy who was briefly here earlier. I don't know if he's still on stream. Faruka Khan. He's appeared on a few of our streams, but he sort of says hi, but not much else. But then I know not everyone is fully fluent in English, so they may not be able to chat to me directly. Right, here goes. Yeah, I will actually. I'm going to look at the director's cut after this, see what I think of it. But yeah, if it's good, I will try and stream it at some point. I'll have to see if it works in. So the Steam there's the Steam version, but I'd also like to see if it works with the best Mega Drive emulators. There's Blast emulators, Blastum, and there's also. Exodus, which is by far the best emulator for the Mega Drive. Oh, just bear with me a second. Just going to pause that. So there's a slight hertz change. So the OSC does go out of sync for a second. You may notice it a little bit in stream as well. Although I'm going for all the Chaos Emeralds, I probably won't actually get to the end on stream. A bit close. Also, this Mega Drive version was always really quite surprising, the fact it was 1996. On the site, we did a region change section. I'd probably need to do a proper... So the current region change piece, yeah, I probably would like to cover more region changes. I think there needs to be more in-depth stuff because I do like covering it a lot more. It's like games like Suikoden, the Japanese version has quite a few extras in the Saturns and it's quite different to the PSP and the PS1 version. The PSP version is an amalgamation of the two with some changes, so I would really love to do a more in-depth sort of guide. The current Japanese page I've wrote up on it, I think probably would need to be rewritten or left as it is and we do a new sort of region changes because it is something that I would like to see more documented. I mean, there is, if we were going to document it more, I'd love to do something like the Cutting Room Floor does. The Cutting Room Floor is a fantastic website for details, but the Cutting Room Floor, again, I think a lot of the time when they don't use they're using ROMs and stuff, and often not checking very thoroughly. Because we noticed quite a few mistakes on the Cutting Room Floor, which is quite interesting, or information not present. Partly because that's done by hobbyists, and I'm someone who's actually worked in the industry, so there's things I'll pick up that people who've perhaps not worked in the industry will miss. Because I can understand the mindset of developer having actually been one. I must admit, I'm quite keen to actually develop a game myself at some point again. Okay, so can I find where Knuckles is hiding now? Yeah, there's... The cutting room floor is quite a good site that does cover region changes, but there's so many games to do it, and what the cutting room floor only tends to do is, like, it doesn't do comparisons across all formats. So something like Suikoden, I would love to be able to do a piece on covering the changes in the Saturn's version to the PS1 to the PSP, and actually going through all and even the region changes between the PS1 version, because ironically the Saturn's version, so the European PS1 version of Suikoden 2 is technically the most bug-fixed version of the game, although it's PAL optimized, ideally not greatly, but it does actually feature additional bug fixes that aren't in the US version and things like that. But it needs to be, we need to cover it a lot more, and it would need to be something we'd need to get revenue back from, because those type of projects would, I mean, even the Hurt stuff, we need to cover it more, but at the same time the Hurt's videos aren't generating huge amounts of numbers that we'd need to make it a full-time coverage. I'd love to be able to do it full-time. I mean, I'm kind of I don't really want to go on something like Patreon, because a lot of people have called that type of thing sort of e-begging, and I do like to see that we could stand on our own 2 feet. Okay, so am I going to be able to find where Knuckles is hiding in this stage? Oh, no is the answer to that. I think I've just... Come back, Flickies! I was actually in QA, so I actually worked on... initially worked in testing, and then actually worked for a publisher, so I've worked on a few Disney games, and I also then subsequently worked on PlayStation Home. So I properly helped develop on some of that. Again, I was sort of the whole running the studio's QA department, so that was a very fun time. PlayStation Home was a really interesting thing, because it was a really interesting concept that I don't think Sony Japan quite understood, so didn't support it as well as they could have done. Whereas it was sort of a British developed concept, which was a really nice idea, and I wish Sony had supported it more. Probably some of the better titles. So I've worked on quite a lot, but a lot I'm uncredited for. Probably one of the better titles I'm credited on from the Disney days is Pure, which was an ATV game. I'm also credited on Split Second. Strangely, I'm credited on Epic Mickey, even though I didn't work on that much directly, because that had been in development for such a long time. That actually left the Disney when that was released. But it was literally developed when I first started there, and we took about 5 years to get it out, so that was not what you call good budgeting. Ow. Right, I'm going to miss... I don't know where Knuckles is, so I'm going to give up trying to find him. Let's get to the exit. Oh, am I missing a buddy? Yeah, the climax, basically, two of the racing games. Pure is a really, really good ATV racing game that I highly recommend. Unfortunately, it didn't do that well. This is not the exit, that's why, so Knuckles must be further on. I thought Knuckles was actually at the exit. I thought that was the exit, but it's not. Yeah, I've got I worked on PS3 games. I haven't worked on any PS4 stuff, but I've worked on 3DS, PSP, PS2, Wii. Technically, one of the games I actually worked on was on the GameCube, but we weren't credited on that one, and we only did that because we didn't have much else to work on. It was more a US studio thing. Okay, yeah, I had all the birds. I thought I was missing one of them. Yeah, you're right. I did have them. Thanks. I know the director's cut apparently flashes if one's run off, which is quite nice. That's something it needed. The director's cut doesn't add in much because I think they said literally the ROM was sort of packed, but it does add in a number of quality of life improvements. I mean, it doesn't add in much in the way of new content, sort of new areas and things. It adds in a lot more quality of life improvements. Because I think he mentioned they would literally... He didn't want to increase the size of the original ROM image, so he was limited to what he could add in. But that's the sign of a sort of classic developer. Someone who wanted to get the very best out of what they had. Which is something I think some sort of modern indie developers miss. It's about maximising what you have got. Ah, you can go. Yes, you're right there. They do rotate. Oh, and they actually go into nice little idle form as well. It's weird, not all those archways smash, so... Let's see if I can try and find Knuckles. I must have missed him. I wonder if it's one of those smashing arch... Okay, is he behind this one? Can I smash this one? Some you can smash, some... Ah, yes. Okay. Yes, that's a bit weird. Some you can smash, some you can't. I need to get... Oh, but I ain't got any rings. I need a few more rings. I think the pattern might be slightly different when you can smash them. Oh yeah, in the background, yeah, there's some really nice touches they added in for the Saturn's version. Yeah, I totally agree. I know what you mean, the sort of animated things in the background. Yeah, you do miss them a bit in this one. The Saturn's version has quite a few quality of life improvements. And you're right in saying it would be nice if they added in the Saturn's extras into the Mega Drive version. Well, let me rephrase that. Add in the new Mega Drive extras into the Saturn's version to improve that. Okay, I need 11 rings somewhere on this stage. Is there any left? Yeah, this one's it's a bit odd like that. I think the design is slightly different, but it's not that clear. Let's see if there's any more rings have respawned around here. So there's a Sonic head there, so... guessing there's a slight tell in the design that makes it obvious that you can smash those ones. Okay, we have rings. Right. Been a while since we did the Saturn's version, actually. We did cover it for one of the Christmas videos. I think we have the I think I did the first stage on the Saturn's version on the channel, but it has been some time since I actually covered the Saturn's version in full. No, I read it was the other way around, because in this one I can get 2 emeralds per stage. I think the Saturn's version, definitely, now that I remember, it does only let you get 1 emerald per stage. This lets you get 2 emeralds per stage. The Mega Drive version, which they slightly changed, so it took a little bit longer to get all the emeralds. I think they perhaps felt you could get all the emeralds too quickly in this one. Because I read on Sonic DX, so that one I definitely can't smash. On Sonic Retro, so Tails will take my rings. I need to go to... I went the wrong way earlier, so I should have come through this way, so I got to the exit quicker. Apologies to people watching this if you think I'm taking the long way round, because yes, I am taking the long way round, quite literally. I was going to say I've been taking too long. Yeah, the Saturn's version, because I read that the DX version only allowed you to get 1 per stage. Yeah, I can kind of understand why the Saturn's version changed it, because I think it's too easy to get all the emeralds too quickly in this version, if I had a criticism. A little bit close for comfort there. So if you notice, I think this will be my 6th emerald. Just going to pause it a sec because it started. Yeah, I think the DX version apparently recolours the bonus stages so they fit the world better. I did read up on the Director's Cut before I actually started this one, because I wanted to see. A couple people mentioned MSD mentioned it in the stream the other night. I thought, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. I didn't realise it had actually been released. We've suddenly got yes, they see that I've got 6 and I'm only on the first stage of the second world. So there's literally only 1 more Chaos Emerald to go in this. And then literally I can speedrun the rest of the game. And the question is, can I speedrun the rest of the game in the time I've got? Because it's one game that's probably not actually takes too long to finish, so... I must admit, even though the Mega Drive music isn't as good as the one on the Saturn, it's still good music. And it was such good music that Sonic Team reused it for Sonic Adventure, so... Yes, I totally agree about that. I much prefer the bonus stage on the Saturn's version. They really are a homage to the Sonic 2 ones. In fact, they even improve upon the Sonic 2 ones. It's interesting, the PC version actually used an additional, had a third bonus stage. The PC version actually had a different set of bonus stages. I think because they wanted to improve upon the Mega Drive ones, which I don't think they liked that much. But I think they possibly felt that for the PC, to make it more compatible with more PCs, the Saturn bonus stages were too taxing. So they created a additional third version of the bonus stages. Okay, that's just random which ones you can break and which ones you can't. Okay, so that's to Knuckles. Let's get some sped up music. Plays a version of the intro music for the Infinite. The intro in this version is absolutely fantastic though, the Mega Drive version. It's a properly 3D animated. It's possibly possibly the most impressive animated intro for the Mega Drive. Yeah, we didn't actually do a video of the PC one. But I did get it. It's a bit of a... Trying to video the PC one was a bit of a pain, but... Right, this should be the final bonus stage if I get this right. So I've just paused it. Oh, that's me out. No. Okay, these bonus stages aren't too hard. I think the Sonic 2 ones and the Sonic 3 ones are harder. Oops, I've got to be careful. I don't want to lose too many rings. Okay, that's all Chaos Emeralds, I believe. Sonic got all the Chaos Emeralds. So literally, World 2, Act 2 is the quickest you can get all the Chaos Emeralds. So I don't need to bother with Tails. I can just get the Flickies and just finish every stage now. Let's go, go, go. I don't think they're giving me extra lives either now. I think because I got max lives, so... As I mentioned, I do feel this is a bit more of a maze game than anything. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's the best Sonic game, and I can see why a lot of people didn't like it as well. But it's a very good game. I wouldn't say it's a great or groundbreaking game. Yeah, I would like to do some regional comment. I would want to do more. I've been meaning to do a Hertz comparison video again for a little while now because I know a lot of people want to see more of that on the channel. I didn't mean to fall down there. I was actually going to look at the cartridges as well on the Saturn. I must admit, the Mega Drive and Saturn Hertz videos I need to really do new versions of. I have got a Saturn video planned that's not Hertz related, but I was thinking I might do a quick sort of comparison at some point, just showcasing a few points. I need to actually go. Ideally, I need to spend time to actually go through and finish every single game in power at 50 and 60 Hertz, which is a mammoth task, but just to see if we can spot as many of the changes. I have picked up quite a few now. Basically, if a game has CD audio tracks, almost certainly it will have some form of power optimization in, because they have to, because it's real-time CD audio, then they have to adjust it for 50 Hertz and 60 Hertz. Either way, and there's other things, certain graphic types and things. There's still quite a lot of interest in that type of stuff, but not as much as I think if we had more coverage of the channel, I think if we had a larger user base, it probably would be worth our while doing a lot of that stuff much more regularly. And I will look at trying to do some more when I can. I think if I do some more, we'll get a lot. Those videos are very good for getting subscribers, actually, but they're not the highest viewed. Although they do get consistent views, I will say. We get some videos that just go nowhere, a la Destiny coverage. Oh, hello there, guys. I didn't see some of you other guys come in. Hello, hello, Shinobi Wan, and hello, Hemp Knight. Yeah, that's what we were saying. It's not the greatest Mega Drive game, Sonic game. It's a good game. It's just not a great game, but it's decent enough. It's certainly worth playing and experiencing. The Saturn's version is definitely the best version. And hello, Hemp Knight. Do you think Sega should reskin Knights into a Sonic game, make the human Sonic and Knight supersonic? No, probably not. Probably not. And what are your favourite footies and fighting games on the Sega Saturn? I actually have a lot of favourite games on the Sega Saturn, but and guys, just a quick ad, if you're enjoying the stream, please do consider hitting that like button, very much appreciated. It does help boost our broadcast of the stream, I believe. So what are your favourite fighting and footy games on Saturn? So I'm not a big footy fan, but the one I have been enjoying recently is the arcade Taito 1 Hat-Trick Hero S, which we do have a video of the channel on, hence why I did a video on the channel on. I mean, stuff like Olympic Soccer is hilariously bad to play. It's quite fun. I was playing it the other week and thought, yeah, it's fun for about 15-20 minutes for a laugh, but not much else. Yeah, it's not really clear which ones you can break and which ones you can't of that. Yeah, I do like Fighters Megamix, although Virtual Fighters 2 I think is probably the most refined 3D. I mean, I'm a huge Virtual On fan as well. I think if you want a pop quiz thing, so 2D I'd probably say Virtual Fighters and Fighters Megamix. Zero Divide is very good. We did cover that a while back in the Fight Night. And yeah, footy would be Hat-Trick Heroes S. Yeah, the 4MBs, I actually really like Marvel Superheroes vs Street Fighter, as the fighting mechanics are a bit more refined than X-Men vs Street Fighter. But X-Men, basically every Capcom 1MB, 2MB, 4MB game is absolutely fantastic on Sega Saturn. So I've just got them all 5 back. Yes. Actually, that's a good tip to remember. You mentioned, Charlie. Yeah, because sometimes it only shows 4 of them behind you. Or I think 1's actually in your body, but if you stand still, it does. Oh, again, I got hit by that. I've got to watch that. I shouldn't keep getting hit by that same thing. Yeah, Dead or Alive's good. I think there's a lot. I mean, you just said name your favourites, so I wasn't going to ream off every. I mean, there's actually the Saturn's one of those consoles that had largely a large chunk of the games released on its sort of fighting 2D were all very, very good. We do have huge amounts of Saturn videos on the channel, although this week I've been streaming Mega Drive game as per the public vote. I will do another vote. In fact, I'll set up another vote after this stream, and I will be admitting Mega Drive from that vote. Seeing as Mega Drive won the last round, I won't be doing Mega Drive again just yet. I'll give it a week off and do something else. Okay, that's one where it's actually slightly hard to judge where you're jumping. Now, please don't tell me I've just gone back on myself. I think I came this way, didn't I? I think I have just gone back on myself. Yes, he does. I did a while back, there is a playthrough of the channel of the Xbox 360 port of the... Yeah, I have gone back on myself. The Xbox 360 port of Dead or Alive 1. He regards the Sega Saturn version or the Model 2. Yeah, partly because Dead or Alive was built using some of the Virtua Fighter code. I think Sega actually gave Tecmo the Virtua Fighter's code to help do the Saturn ports. So... and the Xbox 360, well, basically, when the Xbox version they did Dead or Alive 2, there's a limited edition one. Both versions came with, the Ultimate one, came with a version of Dead or Alive 1 that was in fact the Saturn's version, because he apparently hates the Plus version they released on it, PS1 and Arcade. That was using Namco's hardware, I think. I shall see how far I can get through, seeing as I have all the... Okay, here goes. Okay, I will admit the angles to actually jump on some of this stuff's a little bit odd. It's not as clear as it should be, the isometrics. Viewpoint in this one. It's not as easy as Landstalkers. I think because the shadows are dithering. I don't think they should be dithering. They should be constant. I know the Mega Drive can't do transparencies that well, but... Okay, he's nearly gone. You get stuff like that where you think you've jumped on it and you haven't. Okay, right. Nope. So that one I think I hit the arm. Is this it? Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's Kanobu Itagi. Shinobi-wan pronounced it right. Yeah, now this I think is music they reused, some of the music they reused in Sonic Adventure, because they never released this version in Japan originally, they reused the music they wrote for it. Sonic Team did for Sonic Adventure. I have a feeling... I just really like Sonic Art. I know it's not perfect, but it's still quite an enjoyable 3D racer. We did cover it on the stream. Vibrant and colourful. Yes, this one is Shinobi-wan. This is lovely. Got to try and get those jump right so I don't land on the spikes. Don't find where the enemies are. No, that's not. I can't destroy that. No, the Saturn. Oh, the music isn't as good as Saturn on this stage. It's been a while since I've heard the Saturn track. Some of the tracks are very good on the Mega Drive version. Yes, I've actually played. We have the first one. I don't think we have the second one on Dreamcast. If I go through the archives, I know one of the guys has definitely got Sakura columns on Saturn. Actually, to me, the best Saturn's column game is the Columns Collection, which is fantastic. That's got about 4 Columns games on it. There's the Columns Arcade Collection, which is fantastic because that includes like all 4 different column games on it. Ooh. Like you can only have 9 lives. Okay, got to remember that. So there's not much point in me collecting the rings. So where am I going at this? Ooh. Oh, I should have gone this way at this point. Okay, there is an enemy. This stage is a bit more difficult. Hello XGaming765, thanks for joining the stream. We've got quite a few people joining on now. It's quite nice to see. I was a bit quiet initially. Yeah, I probably should play Sakura Wars Columns. I definitely need to try and grab the Dreamcast sequel at some point as well. I did actually pick up the third Sakura Wars on Dreamcast, and to my shame, I have not actually played it properly yet. This level's actually a bit more complex navigating it as well. I'm trying to figure out where everything is. So I'm looking for the last enemy. Is it on the... So there's the exit. Please be up here, little enemy. Yes, that's got to be it. Okay, it's the puffer fish. Yeah, one of the downsides with the games, because there's not many... I mean, how many continues must I have now? Seeing I've got some... The downside with this is because the Flickies are the enemies and you have to grab, there's just next to no enemies and it feels like there needs to be more enemies. Oh, that's quite nice. You got that effect to see through Sonic. The thing is, they could have just had a cutaway there, so it was like a section cut out and it still looked like it was part of the pipe. I've actually done... No, this one doesn't have... This is just sort of pre-rendered totally. I've done all the bonus stages. They're in the earlier part of the stream. I now actually have all the Chaos Emeralds, so... In fact, I might just quickly... See, we've got quite a few people joining the stream. I might just see if I can quickly redo a bonus stage for an extra... Well, there's not much point in me doing it for an extra life, but I'll just show what it looks like. Yeah, I enjoy tactical RPGs, so I should, in theory, like Sakura Wars, but I've never spent that much time with them. mainly because they're quite heavy Japanese and they are quite slow paced. So the battle sections are really good, but it's all the faffing around dating stuff you have to do in between that tends to bore me. I do even have the one on Wii, which everyone waves around. I just not settled down and played it. And I know that's quite rare on Wii these days, so... Okay, this stage is actually, I'm thinking, yeah, this is quite a big stage. Yes, I do like scrolling. Yes, we do cover scrolling beat-em-ups on the channel as well. Lots of great scrolling beat-em-ups. Die Hard Arcade, as you mentioned. Probably my favourite on Saturn has to be Guardian Heroes. Yeah, I would agree. Oh, I just got taken out there right at the start because of the... Never mind. Special stage complete. Well, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds, so... But yeah, the PS2 version features everything the Saturn's version has and more. There are a few times now I will say the Saturn's version has been eclipsed. Although I don't like Guardian Heroes, I'd actually say the Sega Saturn version is better than... the 360 version, as they messed around with it quite badly. Okay, this stage is quite big. I am impressed with the size of these stages. Oh, next enemy. So I need one more enemy. Please be near. I really don't want to have to go back over this stage. Yes, there you are, chat. Give my Flicky friend back. Oh. Okay, that's all of them. Where's the last chap? Come here back. Okay, that's all 5 of them back. Oh, they were in the worst possible places. Come on, sit still, chat. Oh. Yeah, I agree about the deep scan. It's not exactly the greatest miss. I think there was a different mini game on the Die Hard Arcade on... I seem to recall there was actually a different mini game on the PS2 version. Yeah, deep scan was the better mini game, but... I think Deep Scan was also an old Sega arcade game as well. Yeah, I probably would say 3 frames. Having 3 frames, I kind of prefer the arcade version in many respects because the Saturn's version of Virtua Fighter 2 is missing a bit of content, and 3 frames don't really bother me too much, so you just won't notice them really. Euro 96 is not a rare game. Yes, the translation's completely different because Working Design did the original Guardian Heroes translation. I actually prefer the Working Design translation, although some of their changes have been quite controversial, and there are 1 or 2 lines in a couple of their games that I've read are a little bit dubious these days. So the Xbox 360 version is a better translation, but the Xbox 360 version is actually missing content from the Saturn's version, and the 12-player mode is totally broken. Some of the music, like the Game Over riff, is all missing from the 360 version, so I don't know what Treasure were doing with the 360 version of Guardian Heroes. And they messed around with the game when they configured the new mode. It just renders the game unplayable if you use it. Most Saturn games are Japanese. I don't. Message has held for review. Why is most Saturn games a Japanese show? Okay, bye X Gaming. Thanks for jumping on for a bit. Why was that held to review? Yeah, it's a really weird one, the 360. They didn't even upscale it. So we upscaled to 1080p, and I could have easily upscaled the Guardian Hero intro and sent it to Treasure to add into the 360 version. Yes, Last Bronx is very good, although again, Last Bronx is quite heavily cut for the Saturn's version. So again, that's probably one where these days the PS2 version's slightly better. Did I miss one of the chaps? Nope, I got all three back. Most Saturn games are Japanese. Yeah, I don't know why. That's nothing wrong with that comment. You're stating, in fact, most majority of Japanese. No, it's probably just some check on it. It's just asking me to confirm it's a good comment. Because you can get some people... Sometimes there are certain words people use to... Yes, it's true about the Saturn extra content is... Yeah, because the vast majority of games, the Sega Saturn, I mean, in Europe and the US, we had 240 games each, roughly, and that's not quite exact, but whereas in Japan you had around 1,000 games, so there's a huge increase in the library. There are a few PAL exclusives. Yes, the Euro game is one of the PAL exclusives only released in Europe. It's not a very good game, the Euro one. It's actually a variant on actual soccer, I believe, which did get a Japanese or US release. Yeah, YouTube's comments can err on the side of caution, which is fair enough because people can use various words for different meanings, so you have to be... It's worth reviewing to make sure there's nothing iffy being said in the comments. And I have had a few people come in to see streams and ask before, can you say XYZ word? And it's like, what are you trying to get me to say in Italian? Okay. I heard that a while back. I think, am I missing one? Have I lost one? Eek. Okay, I appear to have lost one of the little fellas following me. No, I would say the PS3 version is... We did do a video on it. The PS3 Japanese exclusive version is vastly better than the horrible Iron Galaxies port of Dungeons and Dragons collection. I absolutely love the Dungeons and Dragons. The Iron Galaxy one adds in slowdown and other weird things. That word wasn't cast. LG. Yeah, you're just typing in random stuff, so. Yeah, please don't tease the test words with the YouTube chat filter. Okay, I've got the other guy back. I don't know where he was, but I've grabbed him along the way. Yeah, there's a Japanese PS3 port that adds in the ability to play. We've got it on the channel. If you look, basically it shows it has a load of additional content because basically it was ported by the original Japanese team. It adds in 2 new additional difficulties, a new easy mode and a new hard mode. It adds in the ability for all 4 players to play as the same characters. And it's packed with the art and thing. We've actually got a video of it on the channel. Yeah, it was a Japanese exclusive release. Basically got a retail version. So basically the Japanese collection of Dungeons and Dragons is different. To the Japanese PS3 collection is different to the North American and the European Xbox and 360 PS3 collection. The PS3 Japanese one was only released in Japan, and it was basically done by Capcom of Japan. The Sega Rally PS2 have a time attack. The PS2 version of Sega Rally Championship is just an arcade port. Again, we have a video of that on the stream if you want a quick look. It doesn't have much in the way of extras, so the Saturn's version has more extras. That's quite a lazy room, actually. That's got the pair of them. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, please do consider hitting the like button. Very much appreciated. I said I'd already made a video on it, Charlie. We've already got a video of the PS3 version on the channel where you can change the colours and we show it off. It's an old one, but if you type in Dungeons and Dragons... It's mysterious. Type in Dungeons and Dragons and it should pop up on the channel. If you ever look afterwards, you'll notice it. It is an old one, but we did take a look at the collection some years back now. It got a physical and a digital release. We have a physical version. There's the other guy. I wondered where he'd run off to. It did actually come in a proper full-on like art book and all. You got all the arcade flyers. There was a limited edition version with loads of really nice stuff. That was really nice. It did also come with a PS3 exclusive theme, but sadly the code expired by the time we picked up. But sadly, the code had expired when we actually got a chance to when we got it, so that was a bit annoying. Right. Oh, I keep getting hit at this point. As long as I keep the coins, we stay alive. And I've not actually lost any lives yet. Oh. He says he runs out of rings. Yeah, there was the really nice limited edition version. It's a really nice package. It adds in... I'm not sure on sales figures. It would the best-selling UK Saturn games, I think, would either be Sega Rally or Virtua Fighters 2, I'd expect. I know worldwide, I think only 3 Saturn games sold 1 million units, and I think that was Virtua Fighters, Sega Rally, and must be chatting while I'm streaming does slow me down a bit. Was Grandeur was the 3rd game, actually. I believe that sold 1 million in Japan alone, actually, because that's such a popular game. Grandeur was a fantastic title. Hello to everyone. By the way, guys, if you do enjoy this stream, please do hit that like button. It does help our coverage of the... very much appreciated if you enjoy it. The like button does give us basically more wider spread. Let's see everyone's enjoying Sonic 3D Blast. Where are you getting your sales data from, can I ask? Because the problem I found is a lot of the sales data was a bit hit and miss with sites. A lot because Sega and many other companies didn't publicly release a lot of their sales data. So a lot of the Sega, the sales information is generally on websites is a bit not always accurate. I generally take a pinch of salt because the industry hides a lot of it. Because I've had a number of sources claim... I have had one or two say Grandia didn't sell 1 million. I have had a number of sources say it did sell 1 million, so... They may have been counting the different versions and the digital museum, though, when they said it did. Oh, Sega themselves did. Okay, that's the last one. Oh, don't want to die. It's a bit irritating. As long as I got one ring, it's all good. Yeah, because I always find finding the sales, the proper sales data is a royal pain because the industry tends to. Yeah, you'd have to take Grandia sales. The final sales figures will all be from 2001, I think, when they stopped printing Sega Saturn games. So you have to take the final dates. Yeah, a lot of the big modern sellers aren't as good at games. No worries, Hemp Knight. Thanks for the offer, though. Yeah, a lot of the... It's kind of... when you see some of the sales figures these days of some huge games and you think, really, is that sold 1 million? It's not that good. And then 5-6 million. Okay, this is probably going to be a tricky boss. Yeah, it has a number of extras. The only downside with the Japanese release of Dungeons & Dragons is it doesn't have the English language versions on it, but that version adds in additional, let's say, difficulty settings and the ability you can actually customize your character's colour, and you can have all 4 players play as the same character, which you couldn't do in the original arcade. So it really is, it's superior to the original arcade. It really is the definitive version. Okay, he's coming back for another match. I do like these boss battles, they are quite good. This one does take longer than I remember. The levels are always actually quite... Ooh. Ah, first life lost. The Saturn really is becoming quite a very popular console these days. I know lots of people that have subsequently picked it up. Even in the industry, a lot of people have basically said, yeah, it should have done much better than it did, but a lot of the problem was Sega. Yeah, you've got there's no shadows on Robotnik's arms, obviously a limitation. Did get a ring. Yeah, a lot of they will get things like that because they're just limited with what they had to do at the time. So I actually wish the shadows wouldn't dither, actually. I actually find it slightly irritating. It does make it a little bit hard to judge as well, I'm finding. Oh, this one, he's taken a lot of hits. Got him. Yes, I know that feeling, Hemp Knight. I think we were about the only person in our school to Sega Saturn. Ah, Diamond Dust mode. This mode, I think it's snowing in the Saturn's version, or is that the second stage? I do love this stage. This one's really good. You have to roll at... One of the annoyances to spin dash, you have to be moving. I do like the music. This stage, I mean, I do. The Saturn's version's great music. This one's actually got really good music as well. Yeah, this one has great music. The Saturn's got some great music. The soundtrack in the Saturn's version is probably better than the Mega Drive version, but this one does have good music. Oh, no, chaps. I don't want you guys being here. This is a... I think my favourite consoles are probably the Saturn and the SNES. I'm really enjoying a lot of the games on the PS4. I think the PS4 is a great library. I mean, yeah, you have all the big games, but you've got so many great collections, so... Right, let's see if I can do this stage without getting the too slow bonus. Okay, I'm back. I just had to just a moment off mic so you could listen to the game music there, but I was also doing something in the background quickly. Okay, Cotton 2 translation. I saw you mention that. What's the point of translating a shooter? Not really much. But it's nice they've done it, but it's not really a priority when I consider that there's some really great RPGs that haven't been translated. So it's nice to know people, but I generally tend to not play fan translations these days. So, ooh. There are some really good... The Cotton series is very underrated. It's dotted across a lot of games. What's interesting is they're doing a new one, and the panoramic Cotton on the Mega Drive, I would love to be able to show you, but I never had a copy, and it's now ridiculously expensive, as in the sort of £2,000-3,000. Well, I think it's about £1,000 or something. So there are a couple of games like that on the Mega Drive these days that I'd love to be able to show you, but are just too expensive at present until we can source them. And it might be some time before we can source them unless this channel starts generating lots of... Really wish there'd be like a proper Cotton's collection, same with Grand. Yeah, the Grandia collection is nice they did, but it's a very incomplete collection. They used the PS1 version of Grandia, so you have the inferior visuals, and then they also didn't port the digital museum either, so they didn't translate it. They actually, I think the team behind it got into a spot of hot water because they'd actually hadn't declared that they initially mentioned they were going to do the Saturn's version because they were getting so much flack, but they weren't. I knew they weren't going to use the Saturn's version because there isn't really a good Saturn emulate. Well, SFX is probably the best emulator, but no one's really coded that to... But yes, the team were very naughty when they were claiming they were comparing the two when they weren't. Yeah, I really am surprised Sega haven't done more to re-release some of the old Sega Saturn games. I do think there has probably been an issue of source code being lost. I do like the... Yeah, I'm sure the Saturn's version has it snowing on one of these stages, so that's one thing, slight change. So that's one thing. This is probably one of the stages. I think the Saturn's version is definitely better on this one. I think the second stage and the this one are definitely better, quite a bit better on the Saturn's version. That's annoying. I didn't take a hit, but I lost the... Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the game was ported, as Charlie says. Because I think they still had the source code, so they did a proper port of it. Oh, where's the... Yeah, I'm deeply concerned over those House of the Dead remakes and the Panzer Dragoon ones, as they're not very good, I have to admit. We covered the Panzer Dragoon one on the channel a while back, and it's not good at all, so it's concerning that those developers will be doing House of the Dead as well. I think they may struggle to sell because a lot of people come back and said they didn't think House of the Dead was that good. Yeah, my Flickies are... Yeah, Panzer Dragoon is the remake's missing attacks and all sorts. Some of the enemies aren't present. They've changed the stage design incorrectly because they've not known how the original stage, like the 5th stage, is supposed to be like racing through the corridors. There's some really... Yeah, I've a Flicky down at the minute. I don't know where he's gone. Oh, there he is. No, it's still very broken. I've played the latest version, even the patches. It's nowhere near as good as the original game. Even with all the patches, the Panzer Dragoon remake has so many mistakes. It feels like they didn't pay attention to the original game, so... I mean, I was lucky we got to play it via Stadia, so... but yeah, I think they had to kind of hush it away in Japan because the Japanese fans were really very harsh on the Panzer Dragoon remake. I think I've got 2 acts to go. Streets of Rage 4, it's not very good. It misses a lot of the mechanics from Streets of Rage 3. It feels like it's a massive step backwards. I mean, as a scrolling beat 'em up, it's okay. But if you took away the Streets of Rage 3 license, it would be a slightly mediocre scrolling beat 'em up. I've not got any rings, and this is going to be a tough fight. We did actually recently do a Streets of Rage playthrough on the channel, and you'll see all the... There's loads of additional hidden mechanics and bonus mechanics that should have been in Streets of Rage 4 that aren't. Like the fact you can throw your allies and use them, they can throw each other and use each other as weapons and things like that. And it's really disappointing. I don't think the developers understood Streets of Rage that well. I in part think that project might have started life as a remake of Streets of Rage 2. But yeah, the developers got a lot. They've got some of the hit collision wrong as well, and a few other bits. There's a really good fan game that's much better than it. Is all I'm going to elaborate. If I'm so, apologies if you thought I was going to say it's a wonderful. It's just a step back. Having spent so much time with Streets of Rage. Yeah, having seen what they did with Panzer Dragoon 1. I'm not even going to touch it. You had a lot of that in other scrolling bits. Streets of Rage 3 has a combo sort of juggling system, so it's... Streets of Rage 4 is a massive step back compared to Streets of Rage 3 mechanically, which is the main issue I have with it. In terms of games design, you should always be moving forward because that's my one of my fields, and to move the series backwards means you don't understand what made the series work. And it's one of my pet peeves of a lot of fan games we're seeing now. It's developed by people that do not understand the games. The other fact is with Streets of Rage 4, they appear to have cut out many of the original development team without consulting them, which I also find very disrespectful. Yoshikairo seemed to only have been added in as an afterthought, so and that was because people complained, why isn't he working on the soundtrack? And then they kind of weirdly it looked like they kind of buried the soundtrack a little bit, because they picked some odd songs rather than... So yeah, I'm not going to say any more about Streets of Rage. I'll save that for a day I ever do look at Streets of Rage 4. I just think Streets of Rage 3 is by far the best, especially the Japanese version with all the changes. Have you seen the Japanese video? Because the Japanese video we covered on the channel details all the changes they made, and the Japanese version of Streets of Rage 3, or Bare Knuckles, is a vastly better game. I actually detailed them in the recent video we did on the channel. It's like night and day. No, Streets of Rage 3 is a much more polished game. Streets of Rage 2 I find quite hard to play these days because it's so slow. I think a lot of people are very nostalgic over Streets of Rage 2, but when you actually play it, Streets of Rage 3 is a better game. But I'll say enough about that for now. I shouldn't really say more about Sonic, but I think I've covered everything I can say about this, because this is a good game. But it's not a great Sonic game. But I definitely recommend. I mean, I should mention this is in the recent Sega Mega Drive collection. Sailor Moon arcade game? No, I can't say I have Hemp Night. I'll have to look that one up. There's quite a few. I mean, I've played a lot of arcade games, and I am predominantly an arcade gamer from the 90s. I think you mentioned you were like arcade games earlier when I was off mic. And yeah, that was probably one of the reasons I got the Saturn. Ooh. Gotta get down there. Yeah, I'm very much a perfectionist when it comes to games, and so I tend to be quite harsh on fan games if they get things wrong. I will admit that. My favourite classic Sonic the Hedgehog game, not including fan mods, which not really a classic Sonic game, is a fan mod. It's someone. Ooh, now if I got a. Probably I still a fan of the original. I still love the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm still very much a fan of the original for what it did. Psychic Force, yes, Psychic Force. I did actually cover 2012 on the channel some years back. I did quite like that. It's a slightly odd game, Psychic Force Fighter, but it's very. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's great. But it's definitely interesting. It's definitely worth playing. I do need the PS2 one. So I think I've got to go down this way. I want to try and see if I can actually get this on street. See how far we can get. I think I've only got 2. This might be. I did the last one pretty quickly, the last act. So might see if I can beat it. So we've got probably about another hour, I think. And just to mention, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please do consider hitting that like button. It does allow searching of our videos a bit more. It does help us out, so always very much appreciated if you do enjoy this video. And again, if you're new to the channel and you like our content, please do consider subscribing. I know most of you guys are probably already diehards. I must admit, I do like Sonic CD. The thing with those Labyrinth and Marble Zones is they're meant to kill the momentum. They're meant to work at a different pace, which is what I like. So it gives you a different feel. It's not just a speed game. I always really liked the complexity of Labyrinth. It just added something to it. Sonic CD was very much like a follow-up to the original Sonic because it had a few zones like that. Like, Sonic CD is a really, really good game. I don't know how many of you guys have played that, but that's very, very good. And the the 360 version of Sonic CD was fantastic. I must admit, this is actually quite long in terms of some of the other Sonic games. I expect I could probably race it. I mean, it's been a few years since I played through it on Saturn, so this is actually, I think this might just be the furthest I've ever got on the Mega Drive version, because I kind of have ignored the Mega Drive version. I appreciate it's a great technical achievement, but every time I played this, I just wanted to play the Saturn's version. But as mentioned, I will try out the Director's Cut version that John Burton did quite recently, who was the original developer on this. So that is actually a fan mod that's available for, I believe it's on the Steam Workshop, and it's available for the Steam version, but I believe it will work on a standard ROM image. But yeah, you can buy this game. Is available for Steam, and it's included in the Sonic Mega Drive and Genesis collection out on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, etc, etc. I just have to mention that, as you can buy this game right now. And I'm playing on the original Mega Drive, in case anyone wondering, and I'm using an open source scan converter. To get the best out of it. I mean, most of our streams, in fact, all the streams have been original hardware so far. I think the only ones we'd probably ever need to use emulation is arcade, really. And if there's any game that sort of... I've lost another life. Not lost too many lives in this one. Just missed out on the fire shield as well. Guess I can walk on lava with this, can't I? Yeah. Is that a crack? It is. Oh, I missed that before. So do we think I'll beat this in the time, or do we think I'll probably have to finish streaming before I beat this? Do you guys want to see me beat this, or do you want me to sort of save it for another day? Oh, these stages definitely get a bit more complex, so I can't just... I mean, it's not the most elegant of playthrough because I've not optimise my run, so to speak. But sometimes it's nice to show me actually the run in progress, so to speak, because I sometimes dislike long plays, but often a lot of them on the net show perfect gameplay, which is just not feasibly possible. Okay, let's go this way. Yeah, Rice Star is fantastic. So, seeing as you've asked what your favourite Mega Drive and Saturn games are, what is your favourite Dreamcast titles? Because you guys must have played the Dreamcast. I'm interested to know. I haven't streamed the Dreamcast in some... We haven't actually really covered the Dreamcast much on the channel in probably about a year and probably about nearly close to 2 years now. So I should probably cover it again. I did a while back, I literally, for 1 month in like October, I did a Dreamcast game a day, which was just crazy trying to get that all done. I literally did a month, I said Dreamcast month, and every day we put out a new Dreamcast video. It might be a bit tricky now. Yeah, Rice Star is very good. I do like Dynamite Heady. Bionic Commando. Which Bionic Commando were you playing, can I ask, Charlie? You playing the arcade version or one of like the GBA versions? Because there's quite a lot of versions of it. I need to... Jet Set Radio, Virtua Fighter 3, Virtua Tennis. I think my Dreamcast titles, I think Skies of Arcadia. I think that's a phenomenal game. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, although I know that's been released on other formats these days. What was my other one? I mean, Record of Lodoss War is a really, really brilliant game that's just underrated so much on the Dreamcast. Yeah, Dynamite Cop is very good. Fighting Vipers 2's good. I'm glad it got a Dreamcast release. What I didn't realise was the Dreamcast version is actually is actually missing elements from the arcade version. I've not actually... Bionic Commando on the NES. Yeah, I should... That's one of those games I should play through. I played the remake on 360 and never got round to doing the original. I actually quite like the remake on 360. That wasn't too bad. That had some nice ideas, but it was one of those games where had some nice ideas, but some of it didn't quite work. Oh, I keep falling off these bits. Apparently there's a world map added in the director's cut, so that's probably something this version could do with, I will admit. Oh, this fire shield is a blessing. It really is a blessing. I think we're going the way I came, aren't I? Yeah, Virtua Fighter 3 Team Battle is still only Dreamcast only. It wasn't a great port, Virtua Fighter 3. It's still a decent game. I covered it on the channel a long, long time ago. It's one of those, it could have been better, but it's still nice to have. Same with Sega Rally 2. Not a great port, but it's nice to have, and they did do some extras for it. I wish it had been a Shining game. Yeah, I need to play Pen Pen more, I will admit. It's one of those ones that you always see, everyone says is quite good. It's one of the few games that doesn't support VGA as well. Yeah, all the Model 3 games on Dreamcast, I think only Sega Bass Fishing's pretty much perfect. Oh, that's how you found our channel. Cool, glad you enjoyed the video. I'm glad I know what video... It's nice to know what video people came from as well. Oh, I was trying to go for a quick takedown on him. Got him. That's an easy one. It wasn't. Camelot had a massive bust up with Sega over the development of Shining Force 3, from what I understand. Yeah, I agree, Charlie. That's one of my issues with the Dreamcast. Almost every great... There are still a few, like Record of Lodoss War, but there aren't many. Most of them, as you say, have been ported to other formats. Is this the final zone, guys? Can anyone tell me if this is the final zone? I think it might be. Or is there one after this? But yeah, a large chunk, as you say. I mean, but there's still a lot of Saturn games that are still only available on the Saturn, but there are a lot of... Most of the Dreamcast games have been ported to other systems. Games like 18 Wheeler, Ferrari 35 Challenge, Crazy Taxi. All of them have been ported to other systems. So that's annoying, that thing, every time it hits. Yeah, I do agree as well about the fact games like the PSP versions are nice. You're right if you've got a component lead to hook it up, but yeah, playing on a small screen, never ideal. Plus, the fact you can't play 4-player easily on a PSP is a problem. There's something about games like Power Stone, you really want your friends. Yeah, keep down any sort of mild swearing, please, guys. Is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 available in anywhere else in print? Not at the minute, I don't think. Ash. So, yes, it was available. Let me correct myself. There are versions on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. I actually have both of them. I actually have the PS2, Dreamcast, and so the Xbox version. The PS2 version wasn't great. The Xbox version is pretty much spot on, same as the Dreamcast one. In fact, it includes some additional content over the Dreamcast one. You get some bonus art. So I would recommend... Oh, I've got all the Flickies. I would recommend the Xbox version if you wanted an alternative one. It was supposed to work on 360, but I don't think they ever added it backwardly to the Xbox One. And the Xbox 360 backwards emulation of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was somewhat broken. I do really like this zone. Is really quite the mechanical shape, so it works really well. Yeah, this does have quite a nice system. Overall, I think I'd quite like to have seen a sequel because this is slightly different to your conventional Sonic. If this is the last stage, I'll probably beat this on stream tonight. So I'll slightly adjust it to playthrough. those things are quite annoying. They shoot constantly, pretty much. So let's get in there. Yeah, you're probably right, Charlie. I still prefer the Dreamcast version. Yeah, there were a few... Yeah, I think it's because some of the Saturn games haven't been properly archived by Sega, unfortunately. And like you said, Virtua Fighter 3 is long overdue a re-release as well. It was Hemlock that said that, wasn't it? Yeah, Hem, you mentioned that Virtua Fighter 3. So is there another... Did I miss an alternative route? Yeah, although the Xbox 360 version was emulation, had a number of graphical glitches. So it was a bit of a mixed bag. Because what annoyed me with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the extra content on the Xbox version. I really wish that had featured in another sort of updated version. Ah, I missed this bit before. I do like the way you glide around. Okay, so this is the last enemy. It's been great chatting with you as well, guys. It's nice to chat about Sega games, especially during the 90s when I think most Saturn fans were generally derided at school. I don't mind emulation as such, but I prefer original consoles where possible. I like to support the original developers, but when needed, certainly it's the only way you can... It's needed necessary to salvage some games. Let's say I prefer emulation when you're supporting the developers, so to speak. And I wish Sega and Nintendo got their act together more and just literally allowed you to purchase their whole libraries of all their games on their modern systems. I always get annoyed with the way they drip feed you games when they should just release everything in the get-go. Because I think without emulation, arcade games would still be a very niche market because so few people are able to... I mean, you just can't... Arcade games are just, due to their size, and very hard to get. In fact, I think if it wasn't for MAME, we wouldn't even have half the arcade collections we do now. A lot of the arcade emulation programs are actually using... Yeah, I agree, Shinobi One. I generally prefer real hardware because a lot of the emulators are generally not... can be a bit troublesome. The more modern emulators are often very messy, like the Saturn stuff. They can be really irritating to set up, and often they're designed in a way where only the person who's developed it knows exactly how it works. So you're like, oh, how do I fix this and that? And is this broken? I think my main issue is because so many emulators, when I used them originally, were just not reflective of original hardware. I know they're better now. Certainly on the Mega Drive, Exodus is by far the best emulator, but originally, the original emulators were terrible. The audio was all wrong and everything. Yeah, it's really weird they haven't done N64 and GameCube. Yeah, that's the danger of original hardware. It does break down from time to time. I've still got SNES. My Japanese Super Famicom's broken. Well, it still works, but we did a video of the graphics it's currently displaying. I still need to get it fixed, but it's just trying to get it fixed at the minute in the UK is rather difficult due to the current ongoing world situation, which I'm sure you're all aware of. And I'm not going to mention any more of on stream. Which has meant many of us have had to stay at home. I really am impressed with the Mega Drive music for this. I know it's not as good as the Saturn one, but it's still very good. Yeah, you can iron out some of the flaws of emulation when done well. There are a few collections like M2 have done that, where they've done very good stuff. Although M2's emulation is slightly lagging behind a bit these days. I will. Oh. Yeah, the sprite limit DLC. The other thing is you can do things like add in transparency. So there's one of the Saturn emulators that enables mesh effects to be displayed as transparencies, which is really nice. Don't want to get hit by that thing. Just this stage is definitely big, this one. Although the sections seem to be a bit smaller and a bit more condensed. Is there a shield around here? As always, guys, if you're liking the stream, please do hit that like button. Very much appreciated. I've got about 4 of you on stream. I think I've only got 2 likes so far, and one of them was before the stream. I've always found a lot of the visual filters have always not quite emulated the look of the older consoles quite right. Only some of the more modern filters have finally started to get it right. But originally things like scan lines you'd get in the emulator programs never looked quite right. Okay, did I go the wrong way? Is there an alternative route through this stage? Oh yes, this way. I generally only do emulation for arcade games these days, or systems that are just a nightmare to obtain in real hardware. I mean, I'd love to be able to cover the real hardware. There is actually a channel that does cover real hardware arcade, which is really impressive, but the space you'd need is astronomical. But yes, I would love a basement full of arcade games if I ever could get one. Well, I do know quite a few. I have seen quite a few developers that like do actually have like arcades. It's like, oh, I know you can get mock cabinets, but it's not the same as having a real PCB. We got the Model 2 version way back. We just got it with. We actually got it from. I can't remember. It was one of the deals we had at the time. I think it was Curry's or something, and they actually had about 6 games with it. We got with it, so but it wasn't an official bundle. Okay, Sonic Opera Act 2. Is this Gene Gadgets or is Puppet Panic the last one? No, I think we've got one zone after this. Okay, yeah, the perception on that's a little bit off. Also, Robotnik's not that bright. Why would you actually come down to let Sonic be able to hit you? I'm not sure if a few of the bosses are actually different in the Mega Drive to the Saturn's version. I might be wrong on that. It's been a while since I fought them. They might all be just slightly spruced up. No, emulation will never be true. Will never give you a truly perfect experience. Not unless you can replicate controllers and every single flaw in the hardware. But it's a great way to preserve things. It's going to be necessary to preserve them because 100 years from now, almost every original hardware console will be either destroyed or broken, or in some sort of museum. So I think it's just Puppet Panic Zone. Can I finish this now? How long have I got? Okay, should I go for the finishing? Let's see if I can finish this. Oh, this is one where they got them there in the containers, aren't they? Yes, I remember this. I take it you guys probably want to see me finish this. I'll try and finish this, seeing as we are. I also mentioned Tails and Knuckles aren't actually in the last 2 zones in this version. I'm sure they were added in the Saturn's version, so... Okay, I've got to watch out so that the enemies don't have... The enemies don't have them... I've got even containers in this world. Yeah, the Saturn emulation. I think SFS is the best emulator at present. I think it's still got a way to go before it's perfect, but it's definitely improving. The SFS seems to be the most updated. It's also probably the easiest to use. A few of the core ones I found a nightmare to try and get installed and running. Okay, these stages are a bit more complex than the others. I'm like, okay, where is the little fella I need to find? Oh, I must have taken... Yeah, the director's cut version apparently adds in. Did I miss one earlier? Yeah, I don't use Saturn USB controllers, so I can't comment on them. So I'm not going to comment on stuff I don't know to give bad advice. Right, so I need one more little chap. I've lost the other one as well. Oh yes, I didn't go up here before. It's got to be up here. Oh, I have got the other blue one. I have got all four of them. I've actually got all four colours on me for once. It's actually pretty. I do think the angling on this is a bit tricky at times. It doesn't help. The thing you should be using to judge is the shadow, but because it's a net effect... Come on. Okay, that's the last one. Come on. Yes, okay. So yeah, I've actually got all four colours for once. That's quite nice to show. Now, question, where is the exit to this stage? Did I pass it earlier? It's got to be around here. Okay, I didn't mean to come back this way, but because the little dude fell that way, I've got to come. It's changed direction as well, hasn't it? So I need to quickly run by. Oh, don't tell me I knocked that on the way down. Yes, I did. Right, here we go, here we go, here we go, come on. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much, guys, so I want to try and finish this before the stream ends, so I'll be avoiding saying too much now. I'll just be concentrating on actually finishing the game, because I think people watching this would quite like to see the end. No, I will. Time taken 7 minutes to 03. Oh, I see. I assume too long means if you take over. Oh, I do like the music on this day. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sure you guys want to probably see me finish this. Oh, we got Big Dr. Robotnik in this stage, haven't we? Yes, I remember this. So there's some really great colour design and level design in this. So what did you guys think of the Saturn's version, can I ask? Did you enjoy the Saturn's version of this? I mean, I always enjoyed this. I wouldn't, as I mentioned before, I wouldn't say this is a... I'd say this is a good game. I wouldn't say it's a great game. Oh, does this one actually have to climb up? Is there no guys to rescue? He's doing inside the big robot. Now, the big Dr. Robotnik, yeah, I remember you came out of his nose, don't you? So this is really good stuff. The visual design is fantastic. I actually have a feeling I don't need to rescue. Something's telling me I don't need to rescue any little dudes on this stage. Oh, just fall down there. It's also nice to actually have some enemies on this stage. This is the only stage where they suddenly realise, hey, yeah, we can actually put some enemies because we're not using them to hold little Robotnik things. Ooh. I think one slight gripe, you have to be still to use the spin dash properly. I will try the Director's Cut version, so I know they did mention they changed the colour palette on a few stages to betterly match some of the other Sonic games. So got him. That one was a bit annoying. Oh, I just lost my shield because I was careless. Right, I'll just take him out. I do like there are big Robotnik on this. Ow! That's me getting careless. Yeah, I mean, I do prefer the Saturn's version over... Oh yeah, the Saturn's always been difficult because it's got... Basically, it was an early dual... I think it's actually got 3 processors, but one's... I think one's reserved for sound or audio, and the other 2 are graphics. So effectively, it's actually... It's basically like a... It was basically ahead of its time, but the problem is at the time no one knew how to code for a double processor. Whereas these days, I think everything's sort of quad-core, multiple processors. But sometimes being ahead of the curve isn't always an advantage. Although admittedly it was a bit of a... I do like... Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog's definitely... what's the worst Sonic game? Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic... Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 2006 are definitely the worst too. In fact, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 was so bad they pulled it. I didn't think much of Sonic Forces either, that was pretty terrible. And that's the newest one. Some weird futuristic plot about Sonic everyone being caved. Just seemed like they didn't quite know what to do with it. Okay, so I got my payback there. Oh, it's only that's a quick stage. Oh, I can't believe. Okay, right, lads. Thank you all. Please do hit that like button. Here we go with the. I think this is the final boss. No, there's one boss after this. I think I've got to do 2 bosses in a row. I should say, ladies and gentlemen, because then maybe we may have some female people on stream as well. That one's a bit. Oh, that's a bit. The actual collision on that's a bit wonky, I will admit. But one arm down, yeah. Got hit at the angles. Yeah. Eggman seems to perhaps not design his stuff very well. You are correct, Shinobi-wan. In fact, Eggman really probably be like, "What? Hey, Eggman, why do you design your machines for Sonic to be able to defeat?" Oh, just come on. One. I think it's got one more hit. Okay, so I think I've got one more machine. Yeah, that's cool. This one is... Oh, yes, got it. Just one arm down, I think. I think that's got another hit in it. Oh, oh! Okay, let's go again. Ooh. I haven't actually seen the Sonic film, so I will have to let you know in due course what I think about it. It's amazing how much better you get at something after you've fought it the once. I think anything's better than the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, nicely done there. I think there's one more boss to come. Was that it? Have I finished it? I thought... Yes, this is the one you need the Chaos Emeralds to fight. Okay, everyone, here goes. We are going to finish it on stream. I do like the effect. Yeah, I really wish the Saturn collection had Sonic CD. I think that would have been a nice... I think, from what I understand, there was a bit of infighting between Sonic Team as to why it wasn't. But yeah, not reading too much of the comments, guys. I'm just concentrating on beating this guy, so... And you have to remember, you're about 30 seconds behind me in terms of the stream, so often I've already figured out... Oh, come on, that was a bit hit and miss. I think you have to go through this twice. Yeah, I'm going to just concentrate on this so I can see he's going to drop them down. I've beaten this before, so listen to the sound. Oh! 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 Okay, thank you very much, Hemp Knight. Yeah, I'm going to finish now as well. Thank you for all joining the stream, guys. And yes, very much. I did actually switch off the stream. I switched off my feed there so I could concentrate on that boss for the final battle. But thank you all for watching. I will be back streaming next week, so I'll put up a poll to see what you want me to stream. Do let me know. I'll probably do a poll, but it won't include the Mega Drive thing as we've done 3 games. Yeah, it's quite nice to actually finish this. I've never actually finished this on the Mega Drive before, so that's very much like. If you have enjoyed the stream, please do hit that like button. Very much appreciated. Thank you for your support, everyone, over the course of the stream. I see you were providing some advice there, Charlie. Yeah, I didn't see any of that because I was just zoning out on the boss because he was a little bit troublesome, but you have to go through it twice. Thank you. Yes, great chatting with you, Charlie. Very much appreciate your support for the channel. Thank you again for your kind donation as well. Thank you again, Shinobi Wan, for being here as well. Thank you very much. I'll actually update this stream to say playthrough. In fact, I'll just skip this because this is going to keep testing. But yes, thank you all, guys. Thank you for being on stream there. That's been Sonic 3D Flickies Island. I didn't think I'd finish it, but I actually did in the end. So it'll take about 3 hours to finish. I probably should try and do a full playthrough at some point with a little less commentary. But it's been great chatting to you all. Thank you very much for your support, guys. It's been great to see you with me on stream. And it's been great to actually play through the whole of Sonic 3D Flickies Island. You're all very welcome. It's been a pleasure chatting with you all. And thank you very much for your support again. Please do hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. We seem to have had quite a steady number of viewers actually on the late half. It started off slow and just got busier and busier, it seems. But thank you all very much for being with here on this playthrough. I have been your host for this randomised gaming stream, Random Game Riven. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, please do hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. I suspect everyone watching is subscribed at present, but if anyone's watching this video back, I'll actually update the title to say playthrough, because some people will probably want to watch it and go, oh, it's a full playthrough. Yes, good fun. It is a very impressive Mega Drive game. It's not technically, it's very, very good. I will look at the director's cut. Well, I'll probably look at the director's cut tomorrow now, as it's 4:44 past midnight here in the UK. Yes, I'll be back streaming next week. I do have some more videos to come up on the channel, but thank you all for watching, everyone. It's been a pleasure to chat to you. I have been your host, Random Gamer Riven. And I've been streaming on behalf of Randomised Gaming. And I wish you all a good night, a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Oh, right, that's it for another week, and I'll see you all next week. And thank you all again for watching this video. Okay, enjoy, and I will see you all next week streaming. There will be some weekend videos as always. Bye for now.